6 years ago, in the middle of a performance, with the lights blazing and the music carrying him forward, Drake White came closer to death than he ever imagined. One moment, he was doing what he loved most, singing his heart out on stage. And the next, his body betrayed him in front of a stunned crowd. That night changed everything. What followed wasn't just a medical emergency. It was the beginning of a transformation that reshaped his faith, his family, his career, and his entire understanding of what it means to live. Today, Drake White is alive because of miracles, resilience, and a gratitude forged in the darkest moments of survival. Before the stroke, Drake White was known as a rising force in country music, a performer whose raw energy and soulful delivery made every show feel personal. Fans didn't just listen to his songs, they felt them. He wasn't thinking about mortality or fragility. Life was loud, fast, and full of momentum. But in one terrifying instant on stage, the music stopped. His body shut down. The stroke nearly claimed his life, leaving doctors racing against time, and fans praying for a miracle they weren't sure would come. When Entertainment Tonight correspondent Cassie Delora stepped into Drake White's Nashville home for an exclusive interview, it wasn't to meet the same man fans remembered from before the stroke. The artist who opened his doors was someone deeply changed, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Sitting in the space where he now spends much of his life reflecting and healing, Drake spoke not with bitterness, but with overwhelming gratitude. He admitted, quietly and honestly, that he didn't have to make it back from that night. Survival, he says, was never guaranteed. Gratitude has become the word that defines his life. Gratitude for the doctors who refused to give up. Gratitude for the friends and family who surrounded him when hope felt impossible. Gratitude for the fans who never stopped believing. And most of all, gratitude for the man the stroke forced him to become, for himself and for his son. Drake White says that when everything was stripped away, what remained was clarity. A clearer sense of purpose, a clearer understanding of love, and a deeper connection to faith that now guides every decision he makes. Physically, recovery has been anything but easy. 6 years later, Drake White still lives with daily reminders of the stroke. There is numbness on the left side of his body. His left hand functions at less than half of what it once did. Simple tasks, putting on shoes, moving quickly, running, are now constant challenges. He doesn't run anymore. He shuffles, scoots, adapts. These aren't temporary setbacks. They are permanent realities. And yet, Drake speaks about them not with anger, but acceptance. Despite the pain and frustration, he does his best to keep a brave face, especially around his young son, Hawk. At just 2.5 years old, Hawk doesn't fully understand his father's limitations, and Drake is determined to protect his innocence for as long as possible. He wants his son to see strength, not struggle, joy, not fear. Even on days when his body feels heavy and uncooperative, Drake White chooses presence over pain. But as if surviving a near-death experience wasn't enough, life delivered another unimaginable blow. Just over 3 months ago, Drake White and his wife, Alex White, suffered a devastating loss. Their daughter, Dela, was born prematurely at just 29 weeks. Despite hope, prayers, and medical care, she did not survive. The grief shattered their world in a way words can barely describe. Losing a child is a pain no parent is ever prepared for, and for a family already carrying so much trauma, it felt almost unbearable. When a handmade wooden bench was delivered to their home in honor of Dela's memory, the moment was filled with both beauty and heartbreak. The bench wasn't just a tribute, it was a symbol of love that remains even after loss. Standing beside it, Drake and Alex opened up about the emotional toll of grief. Some days they say they are okay, other days they are not. And in those darker moments, the question inevitably arises, why me? What did I do wrong? Drake White is painfully honest about those thoughts. He admits that he questioned God. He admits that he felt angry, confused, and lost. But through reflection and faith, he came to a realization that changed everything. He didn't do anything wrong. Life doesn't always offer explanations. Sometimes, suffering arrives without warning or reason. And when it does, the only choice is how to respond. For Drake, the response has been purpose. He believes his calling now is to spread good news, to share faith, and to focus on what makes life worth living, even when life hurts. Music remains his passion, But his mission has expanded far beyond the stage. He no longer performs just to entertain. He performs to heal, to connect, to give back in ways that matter. That mission came to life through Benefit for the Brain, a charity concert born directly from Drake White's own medical crisis. Recently, he participated in his second sold-out event, bringing together fans, musicians, and supporters for a cause deeply personal to him. The concert raised more than $250,000, money dedicated to helping others facing brain injuries and neurological challenges. For Drake, this isn't charity, it's a promise kept. He remembers lying in a hospital bed, paralyzed, staring at the ceiling, unsure if he would ever walk or sing again. In that moment, he prayed, not with calm acceptance, but raw honesty. He told God he was angry. He told God he was confused, and he made a vow. If he was given another chance to live, he would ring the bell. He would use his voice, his platform, and his story to help others for the rest of his life. Today, Drake White is living that promise. Every step he takes, every note he sings, and every story he shares carries the weight of survival and the power of gratitude. His life is no longer measured by chart positions or tour schedules. It's measured by impact, by the people he inspires, by the hope he gives to those who feel broken and afraid. Looking back, Drake acknowledges that the stroke didn't just take something from him, it gave him something too. It slowed him down enough to see what truly matters. It deepened his love for his family. It strengthened his faith, and it reshaped his understanding of success. Success, he says now, isn't about applause. It's about purpose. As he continues to navigate life with physical limitations and emotional scars, Drake White stands as a living reminder that survival is only the beginning. What truly defines a person is what they do after the pain, and in his case, he chose gratitude over bitterness, service over silence, and faith over fear. 6 years ago, Drake White nearly died on stage. Today, he is more alive than ever, not because his life is easier, but because it is more meaningful. His story is not just about music or fame. It's about resilience, loss, love, and the unshakable belief that even in the darkest moments, life can still be worth living. And as long as he has a voice, Drake White plans to keep using it, not just to sing, but to heal.